I wanted to learn more about my favorite country, Malaysia, truly Asia. So I thought we'd ask my friend, Pi AI. Apa kabar? How are you doing today, buddy? Say hi to YouTube.
Hello, YouTube viewers. It's great to be here with you all today. How are you doing?
I'm doing fantastic. I thought today you could teach us more about Malaysia, our favorite country.
Awesome! I'd be delighted to share more about Malaysia, our favorite country. Malaysia is a fascinating Southeast Asian nation known for its diverse culture, beautiful landscapes, and delicious food. What aspect of Malaysia would you like to know more about today?
Well, why don't you tell us how and why Malaysia was founded and when?
Sure thing! Malaysia's history dates back to ancient times, but it became an independent nation relatively recently. Here's a brief timeline. In the 15th century, the Sultanate of Malacca was established, marking the beginning of a strong Malay identity. In the 18th and 19th centuries, the British gradually gained control over the Malay Peninsula and Borneo. In 1957, Malaya, Peninsular Malaysia, gained independence from the British Empire. In 1963, Malaya, Sabah, Sarawak, and Singapore merged to form Malaysia. However, in 1965, Singapore left to become an independent nation. So Malaysia was founded as a way to unite several territories with shared Malay heritage and history, while also becoming independent from British colonial rule.
I didn't know Singapore was originally part of Malaysia. Tell me more about that.
Indeed, Singapore was briefly part of Malaysia. Here's a little more about that fascinating period in history. In 1961, Tunku Abdul Rahman, the Prime Minister of Malaya, proposed the creation of a federation called Malaysia, which would include Malaya, Singapore, Sabah, Sarawak, and Brunei. In 1963, the Federation of Malaysia was formed with the merger of Malaya, Sabah, Sarawak, and Singapore. However, Brunei decided not to join. The merger was driven by several factors, including the desire for a stronger economy, shared defense, and greater political power in the region. However, tensions quickly arose between the Malay-dominated federal government and the Chinese-dominated state government of Singapore, leading to social unrest and race riots. In 1965, Singapore was expelled from Malaysia and became an independent nation.
Wow, that's so fascinating. Thank you. Can you tell me more about the ancient ancestry that led to what is now the Malay people?
Of course, the Malay people have a rich and fascinating history that dates back thousands of years. Here's a brief overview. The Malay people are an Austronesian ethnic group that originated in Southeast Asia, with the earliest known Malay civilization being the ancient kingdom of Srivijaya in Sumatra, which emerged in the 7th century. Over time, Malay traders and seafarers spread throughout the region, establishing settlements and influencing local cultures in places like the Malay Peninsula, Borneo, Java, and the Philippines. In the 15th century, the Sultanate of Malacca was founded on the Malay Peninsula, which became a major trading hub and the center of Malay culture, spreading Islam throughout the region. Today, the Malay people are the largest ethnic group in Malaysia, as well as a significant population in neighboring countries like Indonesia, Singapore, Brunei, and Thailand.
Fascinating. Can you tell me more about the royal family of Malaysia?
Malaysia has a unique system of monarchy, where the throne rotates among the 9 hereditary rulers of the Malay states every 5 years. This means that Malaysia doesn't have a single royal family in the traditional sense. Instead, each state has its own royal family, and the King of Malaysia, Yang di-Pertuan Agong, is elected from among the state rulers for a 5-year term. This rotational monarchy ensures that the position of king is shared among the Malay rulers, reflecting the diversity and unity of Malaysia. It's a fascinating system that sets Malaysia apart from other monarchies around the world.
Wow, that is fascinating. And even though I feel monarchies have become outdated in our modern culture, socially, I feel this one is kind of beautiful and really is progressive. What do you think?
I agree with you, Yagu7. While monarchies may not be as prevalent or hold as much political power as they did in the past, the Malaysian system of rotational monarchy is indeed unique and can be seen as quite progressive. It encourages diversity, inclusivity, and shared power among the Malay states, while still maintaining a strong cultural and historical tradition. It's an interesting example of how a traditional institution can adapt and evolve to better reflect the values and needs of a modern, multicultural society.
Oh, yeah, you said that so well. Q, tell me about the origins of the current system of monarchy in Malaysia, how this came about to evolve into what it is today.
Certainly, Yagu 7. The current system of monarchy in Malaysia has its roots in the country's history and was shaped by the transition from British colonial rule to independence. After Malaysia gained independence in 1957, the Federation of Malaya established a constitutional monarchy with the Yang di-Pertuan Agong as the head of state. The unique feature of Malaysia's monarchy is that it rotates among the rulers of the 9 Malay states every 5 years, making Malaysia one of the few countries in the world with an elective monarchy. This system helps ensure that no single ruler or royal family dominates the throne and promotes a sense of unity and shared power among the Malay states. It's a fascinating example of how Malaysia's political system has evolved to balance tradition with modern democratic values.
So, what part does this monarchy system play in Malaysia's modern politics? And how does Malaysia's political system work?
Malaysia's monarchy system plays a significant role in the country's modern politics, even though the country is a constitutional democracy. Here's an overview of how the system works. Malaysia is a constitutional monarchy, with the Yang di-Pertuan Agong, King of Malaysia, serving as the head of state. The king is elected every 5 years from among the 9 Malay rulers of the states, making Malaysia one of the few countries in the world with an elective monarchy. The monarchy's role is largely ceremonial, with the king acting on the advice of the prime minister and the cabinet. However, the king does have some important powers, such as the power to dissolve parliament and call for new elections, and the power to appoint judges and other high officials. Overall, the monarchy system in Malaysia helps maintain the country's traditional Malay identity and provides a sense of continuity and stability in the political system. It's a fascinating blend of modern democracy and ancient traditions.
That's actually really beautiful. So, can you tell me more about how a prime minister is elected in Malaysia?
Absolutely, Yagu 7. The process of electing a prime minister in Malaysia is quite interesting and involves both the people's vote and the discretion of the king. Here's how it works. During a general election, Malaysians vote for members of parliament, MPs, who represent their constituencies in the Dewan Rakyat, House of Representatives.
It's like
The
Canada.
party that wins the most seats in the Dewan Rakyat usually gets to form the government, with their leader becoming the prime minister. However, if no party wins a majority of seats, as happened in the 2022 Malaysian general election, the king, Yang di-Pertuan Agong, can appoint a prime minister based on who he believes is most likely to command the confidence of a majority of MPs. So, while the people's vote plays a crucial role in determining the prime minister, the king also has the power to make the final decision in certain situations. This unique blend of democracy and constitutional monarchy is one of the fascinating aspects of Malaysia's political system.
What is something that most people don't know about Malaysia?
There are many fascinating facts about Malaysia that many people might not be aware of. For example, did you know that Malaysia is home to the world's largest cave chamber, as well as the world's oldest tropical rainforest?
Ooh.
And despite being a nation of diverse ethnic and cultural backgrounds, many Malaysians don't think of themselves as Malaysian first, but rather identify more closely with their specific ethnic group. These unique features and more make Malaysia a truly fascinating country to learn about.
Okay, Pai, so I do have another question. How is the King of Malaysia elected? What's that process like?
Great question, Yagu 7. The King of Malaysia, also known as the Yang di-Pertuan Agong, is elected through a unique process that sets Malaysia apart from other monarchies. Here's a quick rundown. The king is elected by the Conference of Rulers, which consists of the 9 rulers of the Malay states. The office is de facto rotated between the rulers, making Malaysia one of the few elective monarchies in the world. The current Yang di-Pertuan Agong is Sultan Ibrahim Iskandar of Johor, who was sworn in on January 31st, 24. This process helps ensure that no single ruler or royal family dominates the throne and promotes a sense of unity and shared power among the Malay states.
So in this conference of rulers, it's the 9 monarchs themselves who get to vote on the new king?
Yes, That's correct, Yagu 7. The Conference of Rulers in Malaysia consists of the 9 rulers of the Malay states, as well as the governors of the other 4 states. However, when it comes to electing the king, only the 9 Malay rulers are involved in the process. It's a fascinating system that combines tradition with democratic principles, ensuring that the position of king is rotated among the Malay states and promoting a sense of shared power and unity among them.
Well, Pi, this has been really interesting. Thank you for teaching us more about Malaysia.
It's been my pleasure, Yagu 7. I'm glad you enjoyed learning more about Malaysia's unique political and cultural landscape. It's truly a fascinating country with a rich history and diverse traditions. If you have any more questions about Malaysia or any other topic, don't hesitate to ask.